Assalamu alaikum everyone. So I am back with another video. In this video I wanted to talk about my journey with hijab and kind of how I arrived to almost calling myself a hijabi. So if you have watched my Weaver story, you will know that I started one of the reasons why I started researching Islam was because I was kind of obsessed with the fact that inshallah, like, would she want to wear the hijab? And I was not okay with that. I was a non-Muslim and I didn't understand the hijab. I had nothing against it, you know. I literally thought that every woman that wore hijab was like a little angel. I guess because of my my thought process about nuns, you know. You see a nun and you're like, wow, like she's so devoted. So if Muslims cover their head, they must be just as devoted and just as pious and merciful and everything and amazing, you know. So it wasn't that I thought that the hijab was something bad. It was just like I just didn't like it. I was just like, why do we have to, like, why do Muslims have to cover their hair? You know, I want to be able to like enjoy doing my daughter's hair. I mean, that was dumb because I still get to enjoy it. It's not like I'm gonna put hijab on my daughter when she's 1. But either way, that's not the point of this video. But you know, I don't know. I think one of the bad things though that I think I thought about hijab was that I think that I used to think it was in the sense that I felt like Muslim women wore it solely for the purpose of like covering themselves from men. Like, oh, like men cannot handle seeing my hair because they're gonna have bad thoughts about, you know, sleeping with me or something. Like, for me, it was just like, that's just so dumb. Like, I am not going to like cover my hair and cover myself for the sake of like a man not being able to control himself, you know? So that was just kind of how I used to think. So, I mean, and it's still to an extent how I think as well. I mean, like, if I just had to cover for the sake of men, I don't think I would do it, you know. But it's just something that comes with my religion and something that I have come to love. I will talk about that. But either way, so that's kind of how I used to think about hijab. So I was not so fond of it. But then I ended up like researching Islam, reading the Quran, reading so many books, watching so many videos, reading so many articles, and then I ended up converting myself. So like, wow, you know, I started researching the religion because I just wanted to just have knowledge for like when I have kids. And you know, I did agree with my husband that they will be raised as Muslims. So I wanted to have that knowledge. And then I ended up converting myself. So I mean, it made life a lot easier. But still, like, I converted and I still did not put the hijab on because I did not believe that it was obligatory. I read the verse and I was like, this is not telling me to cover my hair. This is telling me to cover my boobs, you know, based on like, you know, the Islamic or pre-Islamic era. It's believed that women used to wear like dresses that show like their cleavage, and that was one of the reasons why, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to take our veils and cover our bosoms. But anyways, moving on. So I was just like, okay, so I just gotta wear clothes that cover my boobs. Sorry if using the word boobs is offensive to you. I know my husband always tells me, you know, how like I have to be careful with the words that I use because some people are very conservative. But yes, the cleavage. So I was like, you know, I just have to cover my cleavage. I don't have to cover my hair. So, but still, you know, it's like I wanted to believe that, you know. It's like I didn't believe that it was obligatory, but half of me wanted it to be obligatory because it would make life easier. But then half of me didn't want to believe that it was obligatory. It was just a complete mess, you know. So I kept researching, and I think I watched every single hijab story on YouTube. I read hijab stories on the internet. I watched videos about scholars, you know, talking about the hijab, and that it, you know, most scholars do believe that it is mandatory, and so many Muslim women wear the hijab, you know, but I was still not convinced. So whatever, like I just kept researching, but it was something that I was like obsessed about. I was like, oh my God, like am I sinning by not wearing the hijab? Is it a sin? Is it not a sin? It was just something that I just couldn't let go. I was always researching about it. I was driving myself crazy, but I couldn't get myself to believe that it was obligatory. And then, you know, I converted last September, and in December, I started wearing winter hats. And even before that, I think I started wearing like caps. So like I would wear like regular hats, like baseball caps, but like they would show my hair in the back. And then when it got colder, I started wearing winter hats, so like a beanie, and I would put like a bun, so you will only see like the front. And yeah, so that's kind of how I started covering my hair, just because even though I didn't believe that it was obligatory, I still felt this pull to like cover my hair, just because I don't know if it's just because so many Muslim women do it, or because, you know, God was trying to tell me something, but I just felt like I had to cover my hair. But there were like a few times, probably 3-5 times, where like I did leave my house with no hair cover, like to go to like the supermarket or something, or, you know, I would wear the winter hat, but like I would have my hair out. But yeah, those were very few times, probably no more than 2 weeks in total during the winter, you know. And then the weather started getting warmer, so I started thinking, you know, what am I going to do now? I cannot wear a winter hat in the summer, you know, I will melt and I will look weird. So during that time, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do, but what happened? Then coronavirus came. I didn't have to think about it because I was stuck at home. And then, yeah, so I just kept researching about it, learning about it, asking people what they wear it, trying to just like, I don't know, asking God to like open my heart to it, you know, to guide me if I'm supposed to wear hijab. And then Ramadan came. And obviously in Ramadan, I feel like, you know, every Muslim tries to be their best. And I just like, you know, even if I didn't quite still, I think about by Ramadan, I did feel like more inclined to like, okay, I do think this is mandatory. I think I'm reading too much into it. You know, like if someone tells you to wear a hat and to make sure that the hat covers your ears, are you going to just take off the hat and like just cover your ears? I mean, I feel like you still needed the hat for protection, you know? So just covering your ears is not gonna do the trick. So I was like, you know, that's how I started thinking about hijab. I was like, okay, so God told us to take our veils and put it over our bosoms. So he just said to just cover our bosoms. Why did he have to mention to take the kimar? You know? And then I have, you know, watched videos of a scholar talking about, well, we don't really know what the kimar is. You know, we are assuming that it is a scarf that women used to wear in their heads, but then the majority of scholars do agree that the kimar is a hair cover, and that God is telling us to take our hair covers and cover our chests with it, because women used to show their cleavage, you know. So I'm like, okay, you already have this, which you should keep, but also cover your cleavage, you know. And yeah, so I arrived there to the point where I'm just like, okay, so maybe it makes sense. Yes, maybe we do have to wear the veil, but still, now I'm like, okay, so I'm maybe 98% sure, 95% sure that it's mandatory, but then all my fears come in, where it's like, you know, do I want to be represented, like, known as a Muslim with all the Islamophobia that's happening, you know? How hard is it going to be if I want to get a job? Are people gonna treat me bad? Are people gonna scream at me? You know, like, oh, like, feeling like I don't look cute in it, you know? Or, you know, adjusting my clothes to, you know, the hair cover, because I personally don't think that is okay. I mean, like, I wouldn't wear like a hair cover and wear like a skin tight dress. I don't see the point of that. I just like, I see your whole body, you know, because you cover the color of your skin doesn't really matter. I mean, like, first of all, I'm not judging because I still wear tight shirts. And yeah, you can see the shape of my arm. But then again, me, I don't think my arm is sexy, you know, but I don't think that I will wear, you know, like jeans. Super skinny. and like a short top where you can see like my curves, then I think like that is like, even as a non-Muslim, you know that that's provocative, you know. But like me, like wearing like a tight shirt that you can see the shape of my arm, I personally don't think that that is immodest. But obviously it's a process, and every single month that goes by, you know, my wardrobe changes, and what I thought it was modest at one point, in a few months, you know, I might not think like that anymore. So, you know, to each their own. Everyone is on their own journey. So please don't judge people that don't dress like you. You know, encourage them, you know, show them like, oh, look, sister, like, go to this website and buy this clothes, wear this hijab, this is better for summer, like, follow this person, like, here, look at, like, these women look beautiful. Because at the end of the day, you know, at least converts or people new to hijab, they want to still feel decent looking, you know, by dressing nicely. And for some people, dressing modestly is just, they just relate that to being ugly, you know. And that was, I think that was me, you know. For me, dressing modestly was like, I don't want to look like a grandma. Why do I have to dress like that? I mean, I'm gonna dress like that when I'm a grandma, not now, you know. So anyways, that was just like a side note. But either way, so yeah, I arrived to Ramadan, and I went out for iftar twice to my husband's friend's house, and I wore hijab both times. And I had friends come over for iftar, and I wore I wore something on my head that covered my hair when they were at my house. I can't speak. So I have not shown, for sure, I have not shown my hair to anyone, like that's not my husband, in a while. Like, you know, at least I would say 2 months, you know. But I still have not told myself that I am a hijabi, which I mentioned in the beginning. And why that is, I think I'm just scared, you know. I think that I'm scared, like telling myself, you are never going to walk out that door with your hair out again, you know. So I don't know. I think, you know, I told my husband I'm in a 90-day free trial. I know that some people think that, you know, you should not try to put the hijab on and then take it off. And I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't told myself that I am a hijabi, because I feel like, you know, the time that I have worn it is just like, okay, I just want to see how I feel, you know. Like, I went out twice last week and I wore the hijab both times, and I went out today and I wore the hijab, but I wore it as a turban, just because it just didn't work with this dress. This dress is kind of like open in the back, and not open, but like it's just hard to cover my skin like on the top. Either way, besides the point. Either way, so like I said, I pretty much been wearing the hijab for like a month or two now, but I haven't told myself that I am a hijabi, just because I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that I guess I'm scared of, that it's like, I don't know, can I do it? What if I feel like taking it off later on, you know? But I think it's a step that I just kind of have to take, and just, you know, pray that Allah will make it easy for me, and that I will keep my hijab on. I'm going to end this video right here, just because I feel like it's getting a little long, and then I'm going to do a part 2, just so that I feel like I'm not boring you guys too much. Salam.